Right. Let's talk about the school itself. I want to show you two comments that you made on July 7th, 2015 and April 22nd, 2017. Key place school was closed.
We have the emails from city council back and forth and the school talking about it being shut down a year before. Then the school was closed till that year, and then the videos, it's all rotting and falling apart and nobody's even in it.
First thing, you admit now there are no emails between city council and the school in which Sandy Hook was being shut down. That's not a real thing.
Objection is to form.
This is almost 7 years old, but I do believe that we wouldn't, I mean, sometimes we're wrong about things, but there's always some news we're covering or a witness or something. So I can't answer that because of just memory.
Mr. Jones, you said it was 7 years ago?
6 years ago, whatever it was.
That clip we just played you was April 22nd, 2017.
And
that was a year before you were sued,
it's
right?
like 3 seconds long.
Right, but it's not 7 years ago, is it, Mr. Jones? You were saying that a year before you were sued.
I can't answer this. It's not in context. I don't know what you're showing me.
Of course. So objection non-responsive. When you said in the videos it's all rotting and falling apart, we talked earlier, you'd seen the interior videos of Sandy Hook. That's something you'd seen before.
There's photos of things that's on the news, like the mold and the rotting doors.
And you said in the videos it's falling apart. You just said that on that video.
Objection is to form.
Right?
I saw the edited video. I don't know what it's for. I don't know the context.
Sure, but you said in this video, in the videos, the school's rotting and all falling apart and nobody's even in it.
Objection.
Right? That's what you said.
Objection is to form.
I have no idea what the context of this is.
So wait, there's a context in which saying in the videos the school was all rotting and falling apart and nobody's even nodding in it.
Why are the videos all 3 seconds long?
Because I'm focusing in on specific issues, Mr. Jones, and I want to know this claim you made, that there is a video of the school where it's rotting and falling apart. That's all I care about right now. You saw such a video?
Objection is to form.
I have seen, from memory, news reports showing photos and images. I mean, again, this is my memory fails, but I do remember seeing photos and I guess put to video of the school being in disrepair and the reports.
Let's play for you really quick. I want to show you this video. The interior video of Sandy Hook that was taken that day. I want to show you a clip from that. And I want you to note that every time they're going to go, there's a couple times they're going to go in the hallway. And there's part of the hallway they go in and it has to say redacted. Because that's where Miss Hopspring and Miss Sherlock's blood is all over that hallway. But I want you to take a look at the hallways and the classrooms for me as we watch this video. Can you play interior of Sandy Hook? Mr. Jones, that school is not rotting, falling apart, or abandoned, is it?
Objection is to form. And I assume that includes any authentication disputes that I have about whether something is...
Under the Texas rules, every bit of evidence that is offered in the deposition is not, there's no waiver of any objection, Mr. Barnes. That video's not, that school's not rotting and falling apart. It's not abandoned, is it, Mr. Jones?
I've never seen that video.
I'm perfectly confident you haven't. Absolutely, I know that. But what I'm asking you
I don't
is,
even know that.
seeing it right now, what I just showed you, regardless of what school it was or if I just went and took it over at Eastside Elementary, that school that you just saw on screen is not rotting, is not falling apart, and does not look to be abandoned, does it?
It looks dilapidated.
Okay, Mr. Jones. You've seen Mr. Zip's affidavit, correct?
Mr. Zip.
Mr. Zip, Fred Zip, plaintiff's expert, who's sitting with us in the room today. You've seen his affidavit in this case?
No.
Okay, so you didn't know that there were 180 news articles from 2009 to 2011 about Sandy Hook School with photos of the children doing things from multiple sources. That's not something you've ever known.
I didn't know that number. I mean, I've seen photos and things showing mold and the place dirty and messed up. That's what we're talking about.
No, I'm asking you that the school was open during those years, right? During 2009 to 2011, there's plenty of evidence the school was open, right?
There's been controversy like on Google showing the deliveries and things like that. I mean, that was controversies we covered.
Okay, so based on what you knew at the time, you entertained serious doubts about whether the school was open.
objection is to.
Well,
I mean, in other words, let me pull that back, Mr. Jones.
I had serious doubts about Jesse Smollett.
Sure. Okay.
I was
and
the
that's
first
what I mean.
person. It was the first person. The question.
Sure. And I'm not going to try to pin you down on here. Let's just be straight up and upfront about it. You didn't know one way or the other, right? Whether the school was open, you had some doubts. You didn't know one way or the other. You couldn't confirm it one way.
I know that investigators who were accredited school safety folks who I thought were credible experts were the ones, and professors and others that were in good standing were the ones that were really doing these investigations, and then I was, in some cases, taking what they said incorrectly. Okay. And I've admitted to that.
And with no cooperation. You just take what they said and you trusted these guys,
well,
right?
I mean, I'd seen one of the guys like on national television before, or Columbine and stuff, and he was as a national safety expert and sounded pretty credible.
Mr. Hallbig, right?
Yes.
And he's sent you something in the neighborhood of 4,000 emails?
It's a lot.
Yeah. And looking at those emails, taking a look at them, you wouldn't agree with me that man is a raving lunatic?
He seemed very credible and put together earlier on, I can't remember the exact numbers, he seemed to get agitated about 4 years ago, 3 years ago.